Let's talk to the Welsh Economy Minister, Vaughan Gething. Good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
I mean, this is a real moment of confidence in the vaccine, presumably, and how things are playing out in Wales.
Yes, it's a really important step forward for Wales. We've continued to be cautious. You'll have heard me and other ministers regularly say that about our approach. But there is real confidence that the vaccine is making a significant difference. In the second wave that we went through in the winter just gone, about 10% of people with infections ended up in hospital. Now it's a little under 2%. So that is making a huge difference. There's still significant pressure in our National Health Service, as your piece earlier showed, but it's nothing like the second wave of the virus. And we've got extraordinarily high rates here in Wales. Just under 91% of people have had at least one dose. And we've got just under 83% of people on yesterday's figures having had both doses. That's nearly 9% ahead of the UK average. So we're doing really well in persuading people to come forward. It's still important that if you haven't had your vaccine, please get yourself vaccinated. It will protect you, and it's the best way to protect other people around you as well, and give all of us the best prospects of not having to go backwards if this virus does take another turn for the worse.
Where does that leave you in terms of young people? So the under 30s are obviously a real concern as to the vaccine uptake. Where are you with them, and what more can you do to get them double jabbed?
Well, we've got over 75% of our younger people have already had at least one dose. And we've got about 56% on yesterday's figures have had both doses. So we are getting to the majority of those people, but we are stalling in the progress. So we're still making progress each day, but not as quick as we have done with other age ranges. Now we're not looking to have some of the incentives that England are offering, a kebab for a jab. That's a troubling public health message in a number of ways, but it's still about persuading people it's the right thing for them to do, to look after themselves. And the new freedoms that are being unlocked that we all want to see kept open for all of us. It's really important that we all do the right thing to make sure that happens. We've got a range of different people talking with younger people. We've got young people as advocates talking to other younger people. And in a range of areas, we think that for international travel, for example, for some time to come, you're going to need to be able to demonstrate your vaccine status. We're also then moving on with the vaccination of people who are 18 and under. There's a number of rising 18-year-olds who are already having their invites to vaccination, and people will now start to receive 16 and 17-year-olds invites to come forward for their vaccination as well. So the programme is doing everything it could and should do, and it's about us persuading people it's the right thing for them to do.
In terms of vaccine status, I mean, what's your position on whether you need to extend that to hospitality or anything else moving forward? Is that something that the Welsh Government would consider?
Well, we have considered this. We've had an active discussion amongst ministers before reaching a decision, and it's still our view that we shouldn't mandate vaccination status for access to certain areas. But as I say, international travel, the rules are likely to be for some time to come that you're going to need to be able to demonstrate your vaccination status to travel. On hospitality, it's one of the reasonable measures that a venue could take. So some nightclubs, some events already are doing this. You're going to need to demonstrate either having had a negative COVID test or to have vaccination status to access events. And a venue itself could decide that it wants people to demonstrate that status before coming in or in pre-booking tickets. Now, those venues will have to consider what they're going to do because we've changed the measures on social distancing. It's a reasonable measure a venue could take, but they'll need to think about what other measures they can take to reduce risks, because mask wearing isn't required in hospitality from today. So the picture's shifting, but it isn't a free-for-all, as the First Minister said yesterday. So vaccination status not required by law, but it is a measure that some venues may introduce, and it's certainly likely to be the case for some time to come in international travel.